So the initial premiere was at Lewis University, which is in Romeoville, Illinois, where Mike is a professor. Mike, of course, I knew at UMKC, and I think this was a really cool project because all I said to Mike was, I want a composer who has lived in Kansas City, and sort of the central thing that connects everybody together is Kansas City and the Midwest and so forth. And he said, okay, fine. And then he sent me the first two movements. And the first movement was called On the Playground. And the second movement was called In the Firehouse. And I was like, what are these titles? Okay, I'll just read through this thing. I did. Totally great, wonderful. And so we talked, and I said, so what are these titles? This is a bit strange. He said, it's about Sandy Hook. And of course, just the shock of hearing that, I just instantly tears came to the eyes. And I thought, wow, where'd this come from? And I realized very quickly from his explanation that I had sort of reacted to the Uvalde shooting on Facebook with my friends. And I have friends of all sorts of different viewpoints about gun rights and gun laws. And, you know, I don't need to get into discussions with anybody about these things because it's such a hot topic, and one that I feel this nation, people just have a hard time talking about, just talking and giving their opinions because, you know, it's the gun rights situation is just, it seems so difficult to talk about in some way. And I think that's a problem. And so my only response was, you know, hold your children a little tighter tonight, because that's all we can do, you know. And of course I had my little boy at that time, and I was thinking about him being in preschool and heading to preschool every single day, and just thinking, oh, this could have been him, you know. And so I was thanking my lucky stars that he wasn't, but still, what a difficult situation. And so he explained, the first movement is literally children playing on a playground, and we hear the ominousness. We know what's going to happen. And the second movement is the actual depiction of the parents of the children after the event. And everybody was told to meet at the firehouse that was just around the corner from the elementary school. And one by one, children came in that survived the shooting, and parents were reunited with their children until gradually, little by little, they weren't. And at that point, the governor of Connecticut came by and informed the parents their children were not coming home today. The last movement came later, and Mike informed me that, you know, it took him a little bit to figure out what to do next. Because what do you say after that? What do you say to a parent after they've lost their child? There's nothing to say. No. And so the last movement finally came, and it was called communion. And the idea was that we would all come together and pray or talk or just support each other. And of course, it's an incredible moment, because at the end of it, you can definitely hear that the children have been sent home to heaven and what have you. So it's been an incredible experience playing this piece. And of course, still I get a little emotional with it, because it's very powerful. And it's not a social justice comment, and it's not a political comment in any ways. It's just literally honoring the parents' side of this particular issue, and the fact that, you know, they went through so much with this terrible event that happened. Strangely enough, the day that I arrived in Chicago and was headed to Romeoville to perform it, do the premiere, there was a shooting at a store near the house where we live. And my son's school was on lockdown. The manifestation of that was just so powerful. So that concert was 3 times harder, truly, to perform. But, you know, I think, you know, I don't, as I perform this is not a political statement. It's not a statement of how we should feel about gun rights or gun laws. It truly is just a statement about human emotion, and feelings and power of those things, and the power of these beautiful treasures that we have as children.